Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather coming at you with another video. In this update, I'm going to talk about the U.S. weekly forecast for week 1 of December, as well as touch on a typhoon that's about to hit the Philippines, a little bit of Canada, as well as Europe at the end of the video. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload about 5 videos a week to keep you updated. All right, so let's get started. So here are Monday morning temperatures as of right now. Currently, you can actually see where the snowfall landed over the weekend, and places like Duluth where they got 2 feet of snow, you're actually below zero right now on good parts of Minnesota and even parts of Maine. All the other places are in the teens and 20s, where they do have some chilly air, and obviously had a lot of snowfall that's still hanging with a good snowfall pack in Colorado. But 41 degrees in Dallas, and I know this morning here a lot of the outlying areas are below freezing, but this is that urban heat island effect. But hanging on in the 30s in the deep south, and that cold air is pushing towards you guys in Florida. If we look at kind of zoom in and look at the wind chills that's going on over Minnesota. Now, these weren't quite the extreme temperatures that I was thinking a week ago, because of that strat warming event did actually happen 2 days prior to Thanksgiving. But a lot of times it can be very tricky with how much of that cold air is going to be able to propagate down to the surface and when, and the timing of all that. A lot of times it's a 20 to 30 day lag on a strat warming event. So there are signals that potentially a typhoon will help trigger more cold air coming down further south maybe next week. So that's just something we can take a look at. But right now, these wind chills are well below zero in a lot of parts of Minnesota, with teens and 20s, and even some parts are 20 below zero. Now you've got an average low is 17 degrees. So when you got negative temperatures and 20 degrees below zero wind chills, that's still pretty extreme for December. Okay. And so if we take a look at the snowfall that's occurring right now, obviously we've got that main event that's happening in the Northeast, where I updated last night about anywhere from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8, all as much as almost 2 feet in spots coming up as this comes winding down over the next couple days. If we take it on to Tuesday morning, again, we can see where the major player this week is in the Northeast, where they've got teens, a lot of teens showing up in New England states, and you can see the darker reds where the snowfall has fell, the past couple of days, where you do have that snowfall pack that's adding another 5 to 10 degrees on it. But let's zoom into Florida, because this is going to be your coldest air of the season coming up on Tuesday morning. A lot of places are going to be near freezing at or below in the panhandle, but dropping down all the way to the upper 30s, even as far south, and hanging on to like near 40 degrees in Orlando. So that's going to feel really chilly for you guys in Florida. If we take a look at the precipitation for Tuesday, like again, much of the country is dry. There's basically 2 players this week. There's the Northeast, and we got some more rain coming into California. Other than that, it's a fairly mild week and pretty tame week. And we do have some snow coming in for more on Denver on Thursday. But right now, this is Tuesday, just kind of showing the precipitation outlook. For Wednesday morning, again, we've got that snowfall pack in Colorado. We've got some teens in Idaho, 30 degrees in upstate Washington. Now, Vancouver, man, you guys are going to get a lot of rain this week. I mean, there's rain like every single day in Vancouver, Canada. So hang tight. And there's another system coming on to California. We'll flip to the precipitation map next. But again, widespreads, 20s and 30s for much of the country. And again, hanging on to some 30s down in Florida, even for Wednesday morning. If we take a look at Wednesday, we do have another system. Again, that's not going to be nearly as strong as the one last week, but more rain coming into California. We talked about the elevated SOI index, and that's activating the Pacific Jet and bringing another system into California, bringing some more welcome rain into California. So it's like feast or famine over there. But other than that, it's pretty dry for much of the country. If we take a look at Thursday, that's when we got more snow coming into Colorado, and Denver might pick up another inch or two. But that's where it's showing some teens coming up at that morning, and Montana is again in the 20s, and Wyoming and into the teens. And again, where that snowpack is, more teens in Minnesota, and 20s widespread in the central part of the country. And again, where that snowpack is lifted up into Maine, you're showing teens again, but even 40s hanging on for Florida again, and 40s for the deep southeast, and 47 in Dallas, Fort Worth, and bringing more chilly air to California as that rain cooled air moves in. So that other system moves on and it propagates and brings more snow to Utah and Colorado for that Thursday event. And there might be another little clipper system that, again, it feeds off that snowpack in the Northeast. And this might bring more snow for the Northeast. Like, obviously not nearly as the amounts that they're going to get for the next couple of days, but you could have more additional snowfall for Thursday coming up in the Northeast. If we take a look at the temperatures on Friday morning, we've got another potential cold front coming in off the northwest flow, bringing 20s down to the Montana, hanging on to the 20s, and then single digits in the Dakotas, and dropping down to freezing in the Panhandle. And now we got that southeast ridge building up a little bit in the deep south, where these temperatures are going to start to rise, and you can see the blues kind of filtering into Illinois. If we take a look at the precipitation outlook for Friday, we have yet another system coming in from the west, bringing more rain. And again, that's where you got more rain in Vancouver. Sorry, guys. And then bringing more rain into Washington, Oregon, and upstate California. And that little disturbance that's coming into Texas probably won't bring any rain to Dallas, Fort Worth, or much of Texas. Texas should be dry most of the week. But you should see some rain in Arkansas. But on Saturday morning, again, that we have that another cold front potentially coming in. You can see the cold air building in Canada. We've got widespread 20s and teens, single digits in Wisconsin, and even single digits in New York, where you still have that upstate New England, where you still have that snowpack. If we take a look at the precipitation on Saturday morning, again, more rain. So we're talking, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days of rain in California this week, coming in off two separate systems, moving in off the west coast. If we take a look at Sunday, we go all the way down to Sunday. Now, that typhoon I'm actually going to show you could play a key role in bringing more cold air. You can see the cold air building for week 2, and we'll just kind of see how much of that cold air is going to be able to propagate down. But then obviously that's a week out, but there are signs that more cold air is building that could potentially penetrate south for week 2. But the end of week 1, we still have widespread 20s and teens hanging on again with that snowpack. You can see where the darker shades of purple, where that actually the snowpack is held tight for the U.S. Now we're getting that southeast ridge again building and bringing back the 60s into Florida. If we take a look at the precipitation outlook for next Sunday, coming up for this weekly planner, we've got potentially another system coming in off that west coast, off California. We've had more snow in the Sierra Valley, and more precipitation for Florida. If we take a look at the overall precipitation for the U.S., we got basically a good standout is California, where they've been bone dry for months, and now they're getting rain. So it's like, again, feast and famine for them. But this is off the elevated SOI index and bringing more rain and snow in the Sierras. And you can see the snowfall pack where they had, 4 feet. What wasn't enough of snow last week. You're going to add more snow this week. And this is predominantly going to be later on the week, potentially on Saturday. But more snow into Colorado. And again, this is additional snow off that nor'eastern that's happening right now, not counting the snow that fell last night. If we take a look at the typhoon that's about to hit the Philippines, and this is pretty impressive. Right now it's a Category 3, 121 miles an hour winds, and it's still developing and strengthening as this moves ashore. And you can see the track, it's kind of a beeline into the Philippines. If we take a look at Europe real quick, it's a fairly mild week for you guys. This is Wednesday, showing some of the anomaly temperatures. We've got some milder air filtering in to the north and the south, and cooler air in the middle. But by Saturday, much of Europe is going to be above normal temperatures for Europe. So I just want to kind of show you a couple maps for Europe, because I've had a lot of people say, hey, can you mention Europe for me? But I don't want to make this video too long. This was the U.S. Weekly Outlook, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and staying with me this morning. It was kind of a lot to cover, but I kind of want to give you a snapshot of what to expect this week. And definitely, I appreciate you guys watching, and definitely share with your friends on social media. And if you found value in this video, please subscribe to my channel, and definitely catch me in the next video where I protect you before and after the storm.